We can have a glass of champagne.
Actually, let's do it. Champagne.
Get me a glass as well, Albert. It's only 8:30.
You're like a horse running, horse running, horse running. You're like a horse running, horse running, horse running. Horse running, horse running, horse running.
One thing I love about coming to ALBERT Couture is that you're always going to greet your guests with either a glass of bourbon, a glass of sparkling wine. It's my type of style. So we are in this beautiful space, but I know Albert.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people might not know the man behind this Kentucky's first fashion house. So let's talk a little bit about how you got here. How did we get here from the Congo to here to this, empire you're building?
Oh man, there's like 3 stories in there.
I know.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to narrow everything down in my head. Bam. All right, got it. So, born in the Congo. Mom and dad are both from the Congo as well. But we left the Congo back late 1990, around 1999 or so for Zimbabwe because of, we had this political crisis thing that happened there. So we left and we actually got to Zimbabwe at that time. It was, for most people that don't know what the Congo is and what languages we speak French there. And 99 more languages on top of that. But going from a French, colonized country to, Belgium, to an English colonized country, you had to start everything from scratch. Learning English again, British English, is what we spoke there. So from then all the way to 2006, early 2006, and then around June, we actually left the country to come to the United States to a program under United Nations called a resettlement, and then you basically you are a refugee under the program, and then you move to a country that's picked by the other NATO countries, so you don't get to decide. But when we came to the United States here, we came to Kentucky, so I had no idea what Kentucky was. So here we are, and now it's my home.
I know, now it's your home, and a lot of things that I'm seeing, you are multicultural, of course, you're well-traveled, well-experienced, and how does that experience lay into, your design and what you're building?
Yeah, I think experience is very, very major. It's just the idea of understanding how the world moves, and fashion is everywhere. And it's not just in clothes, it's in food, it's in building, it's in just nature. And then being able to be in the moment to understand and appreciate that very much environment that you're in at that very moment. I think for me, I had that for a long time. When I was young, when I started sketching, and that's at one point I had to pay my tuition in school when I was back in Zimbabwe by asking my headmaster here in the United States. They call them principals. Yeah, to sketch for the school, and in exchange for me going back to school. But traveling for me is major, and it just gives me the idea of what's coming next, what's here, what was, and what's coming, and just being around my mother as well and understanding designs and colors and how people are dressing. More people are more comfortable today around the world, but most people won't know that, right? Yeah. America more comfortable than anybody else.
I know, they're like athleisure is the thing. But you mentioned, you touched on your mom, you touched on your sketching. You were actually just sketching right before we started talking. Yeah. And when it comes to your mother, I know she is a huge influence on why you got into this industry. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I don't like fashion. I never liked fashion. It wasn't my passion. No kid, no guy wants to go, what, when I grow up, I want to do what my mom does. Oh no, I want to be the best athlete. I want to do that. When I came to the state, the goal was to become a cardiologist, get into surgery. And after being around a couple physicians and seeing them stress and just losing their mind. I was like, I don't know about this, right? So, but mom has always been there. She's done this, it's more of an addiction for her. And then I just had it when I came to the state. And going out with your friends and being asked, like, hey, can you help me with this? Because can you help me with that? Because you look like this. How the hell do you look like this? But, it was because of mom. And she was and she taught fashion. That's different, right? She just didn't do it and made a living from it. She actually taught other designers to become designers as well. She understood the design part, the tailoring part, and then, but the business part was more like she'd never done that, right? She did it privately, just like any other fashion houses, or she did it in-house, people came over to the house and etc. But seeing different people everywhere all the time and then just coming in, and which is actually, fashion is actually one of the things that even got us here, got us to the program to the United Nations, because mom was designing clothes, for ambassadors, right, and all that stuff to go to galas and all that. So she was well known, and because of that, a lot of things were kind of expedited, So yeah, I'm very much inspired by her in so many ways.
Yeah, I love that. Fashion has really helped move the needle forward, and it's part of your experience. You kind of mentioned on how people were asking you how you dress. I remember you sharing a story before when you were at UK, before you were really getting into fashion. You would go to all the parties in your suits and things like that. So, I mean, how did you know you wanted to, I know Albert Couture is expanding beyond just suits, but like everyone knows you're going to be dressed to the nines, no matter if we're downtown Lexington or or if you're going to Dubai, you're going to be put together. What makes you want to always show up like this?
What?
Like this is you on any given day.
Well, this is more, I'm a little bit casual today, I promise. I got a t-shirt on. But my thing has always been, and it's weird, it's like, what do you want to be called dead in? You know what I mean? Like, if today was your last day, do you want to be wearing like boxers and like an ID? Like what is it? Like, so me, like, I think about stuff like that. I don't know why I think about stuff like that, but I do. So constantly, every time, and I've always gone, well, God has this way of judging your soul, right? Like who you are as a person, and people are always going to have a way of judging you. It's the way you look first. As soon as you walk in the room, before you speak, before you say anything, they're gonna take one good look at you and decide where they want to put you. And it's just never gonna change. And it's history of of parents around the world. From kings all the way to date, right? For me, I've always felt like the best foot that I can put forward, given my background, my story, my family coming to this, very, very fortunate, is I can start off by dressing really well. Right? And being in a room and respecting myself so I can respect others as well, and others can respect me. And then I can probably have a chance, maybe one little luck of a little push of what I need, right? Hey, my name is so-so, this is what I want to do. And people are like, okay, let's sit down, let's have a meeting. But then when you walk in the room, you don't really care about yourself, your hair is kind of crazy, you just don't smell really good. Because it's not just about clothes, it's about the hygiene, right? And I'm a big fan of that. And because it's worked for me for so many years. And wherever you are, you don't have to start from, you start off by making your bed and looking great, smelling good, taking a great shower, and then going out there and doing that job interview or whatever. And I promise you, like, you're gonna be somewhere in no time, for sure. Yeah.
When you talk about your parents and being taken seriously and given chances, right?
Yeah.
Like just a little bit of luck or being blessed in some sort of way. And just touching on your mom and how she was designing for the ambassadors, you have a pretty cool client list. I would like to say. So you've been able to work with some, CEO of the Grammys.
I've also worked, and I'm trying to work with Martina, Baxter. That's the only thing I work. I gotta have Martina Baxter on my client.
Oh my goodness! But, I would be honored. I just pray to get the opportunity to come and get dressed.
But honestly, like my home is home. I'm in your pocket anytime for sure. Like we'll make something happen. No, I honestly like. And for me, the clientele list is always not, we don't do any marketing at all, like here. And I've been fortunate. I did some marketing, don't get me wrong. I tried it. It never worked for my business. It never worked for my business. I'm not even kidding. Like, they'll be like, I'll have guys like, oh, let's do this, let's do ads. And I'm like, it just doesn't work for me. And it's fine. So what I found that worked was my word of mouth. So every client that walked in, wherever you are, from athletes to just a regular person, I don't know what a regular person is, but it's just somebody who's just kind of laid back and whatever. I've had an opportunity to work with every individual. And for me, I wanted ALBERT COUTURE to be an open house to say, it's not really about, because I've had guys who call me and say, hey, my name is so-so, I'm about to graduate law school. I've known you for 2 years. I've been watching you. I've saved up $1,500, just to get a piece of it. Like, can you work with me on this, And I'm like, sure, let's see what I can do, right? And then there's also like another spectrum of that, right? So like, it's how do you create something, for everybody and meet them where they are. This guy, I can only do so much, right? Given the fact that, when you strive for the best of the best designs, the best craftsmanship, you also tend to sacrifice things like pricing, great pricing, affordable pricing, so you can't have one or the, you can either have one or the other, you can have both. So my client list is gravitated towards, the other side. We're very fortunate to have, nationally clients around, and I'm traveling more now than usual. And and Mr. Harvey Mason, I recently just met in 2024. He's a beautiful family, he took a chance on me. He went to Tom Ford. He was like, okay, well, I like Tom Ford. Can you do what Tom Ford can do? I was like, sure, let's see.
That's one of your, inspirations. I see you have the Tom Ford, look somewhere over there. But when it comes, one of the things I love about ALBERT COUTURE, and a lot of people don't know, like when you walk in here, it's an experience. But not only do you create an experience in-house for your clients, mentioning Mr. Harvey, you were talking about how, I remember we had a conversation, you kind of put itineraries together, which lends itself to like Lexington being a destination, and you're really exposing Lexington and helping put it on the map to a lot of these people. When we talk about Lexington as a whole and the experience that you're showing your clients even outside of ALBERT COUTURE, what goes into that, and how would you describe the quintessential Lexington experience?
Cool. Honestly, it's a lifestyle. And for me, since I was a kid, I used to watch these like movies like James Bond, like 007. and being this kid in Africa, I'm like, oh my gosh, like if only I could be that person in that movie. And it's weird, right? And then for a long time, it was just like this lifestyle that I couldn't, like it was so further out than I thought. And then so what I decided to take a shortcut and just create it for myself.
Right.
So it's create an experience. And for me, fashion is a platform for me to experience that. So like, I am addicted to fashion. I'm not passionate about fashion. Two different things. When you're addicted to something, it can be very detrimental. Too much of everything is not really good. With me, when I'm in this environment, I'm like in it. But I realized I had to get some sort of like an output, and the joy that I get from fashion is the people that I meet. Seeing somebody stand in the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, like look at me, right? And it's like, oh, I created that. Oh, that's cool. Like sometimes I forget that, right? And being in the moment. And for me, it's like, how do you take that and create it? Because once I understood that it was more than fashion, I was selling this experience. That's why I said an experience lifestyle. When people come to Lexington, and we very, very fortunate, I feel like we're gonna have more individual clients coming from all over the states to come and get fitted here in Lexington. But where you eat, where you stay, and how you get there, and who you interact with, I think it's all those 4 pillars that I tend to focus on, right? Like, this is what my clients are gonna do. Like, wait, Albert, where do I go eat? I'm like, where do you go eat, Albert? Like, okay, why, this is where I go eat. Okay, I'm gonna go there. So I've noticed those patterns. Well, where do you stay? Where should I stay? Oh, is it the Manchester? Is it this? Oh, what should I do? Should I just get a beautiful cabin out in Versailles? And me being able to tap into the same clientele that I have, right? Whether it's bourbon owners or like restaurant owners, I don't know, like Mr. Wesley at the castle, right? And being able to tap into that and say, hey, client so meet client so, and you guys should probably interact. This person wants to stay at your place and whatever. And that's what we did. When Harvey came to town last year, talking to Kingland
Yes.
and Castle and Key and all that, it was like, and he loved it. He was like, you know what? I never knew Lexington even existed. I didn't know this stuff even existed, you know?
Right.
And yeah.
No, I think that's especially when people are coming from like larger metropolitans
Yeah.
and being able to travel or have lived there or anything like that. I think people are always shocked that you can get a variety of experiences in Lexington. You could get a luxury experience, but you could just also go check out, you know, a distillery tasting room. And when we talk about the experience in Lexington, and you kind of create itineraries. That's kind of what we do at Visit Lex, but you don't even know that.
I have no idea.
You're helping, you know, the destination elevate by taking them to all these experiences right in Lexington, and you can get an elevated experience for the fraction of the cost.
I had no clue.
Yeah. So, what is a day in Lexington of Albert Couture? Like if I was like, okay, if I wanted to experience Lexington the Albert Couture way, how would I do that?
First, you land at the Signature Club for sure.
Okay.
Okay, you land there, and you get picked up by Justin for sure. And we do have other transportation and security, but
Justin with Justin Griffin with Griffin Executive.
It's
Gryphon.
Gryphon.
Yeah, Gryphon
you know,
Executive.
Gryphon Securities, right?
Yeah.
And he makes it, you know, it's not, you don't feel like you're being picked up by like police officers, whatever. You're just like, you know, it's just like cool guys hanging out, like, hey, what's up? And I got your drink, And it's just a very thoughtful of that. Then one thing I'll probably do is, you know, from my own experience, you know, I still have to do better. I think staying at one, if you want to stay at the hotel, it'd be getting a suite at the Manchester, because it's very close to Rap Arena, very close to downtown. You can go in and out, and definitely setting up reservations. And also some of the new places that our friend Dallas, you know.
Oh my gosh,
Malaya
it's so good.
Yeah,
too.
so like I'm gonna so places like that. I think Ruby's for sure. Ruby's, you like steaks for sure. And then Miss Debbie Long at Dudley's, you know, for beautiful brunch and chips. I mean, I like my steaks and frites over there. And then I think in between cocktails wise, it's good to see Javi, you know, and she, you know, they do a good job. And then also Javier, right? Central, if you want something like a little funk, you know, you'd like to stay up on your feet. But if you want something more private, I would say having a private concierge, like, you know, like bourbon testing, it would be very much ideal. And but again, it's like, also for nighttime, for me, I'm preferring speakeasies now over anything. I can't
what's the favorite speakeasy? I mean, we don't have a bunch, but you know what speakeasy I want to get into that I can't get into yet. We can't talk about it, but I like.
I know.
You know I want to get into it, but that's like the secret menu Lexington.
Yes.
But for those who don't have that access yet, you know,
for those who don't have access,
mere mortals.
Yes, for those who don't have access, like me, it'll be something like, I don't know, trifecta probably.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, it's nice and cozy in there. Some people just tend to be friendly at trifecta. I don't know what's happening. Like I walk in there, this is like a glass blowing thing, and they have this thing. I think it's fairly dangerous for me. Like alcohol and fire, like I don't know how that works, but it works. You know, I don't want to know what the insurance is, but for me there, and you know, if funk night, a really great night in Lexington. I think if you're a cigar guy, you know, you can do something private, or you can go see Jack's. But I think more things like that are coming into Lexington, whether if it's a private brunch place, you know, like, I mean, Carson's does a really good job. But again, like for me, that's what I want to do is like, how do I keep, when somebody comes in and gets fitted, you know, it's not just about clothing, right? So having like a little cocktail sitting there, watching the ball game, you know, we're known for, you know, sports here. You sit there and this is what Kentucky is, and you can see people walk out there, and we got a bunch of coffee shop. I think Lexington is gonna grow into one of those places where it's like you turn a corner, there's like a speakeasy, you turn another corner, there's like a 5-seater kind of like a Soho vibe kind of restaurant, right? And the only way to do that is to drive more people who are from outside into here, and I've had that opportunity lately, and I want to keep doing that.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. I appreciate it at Visit Lex. You're helping us keep the lights on.
Oh, cool.
No, but real quick before we wrap up, you mentioned Albert Couture being more than fashion.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
Right.
And so in envisioning the future and the growth of Lexington and Kentucky as a whole, and Albert Couture, what can we expect in the future?
I think for sure, definitely few locations or so. I think for sure, New York, Miami area, more like Golden Beach area, Dubai, international, London location for sure, and then my first African location in South Africa. LA, yes,
I will say, LA kind of reminded me. I think South Africa's beautiful, but it kind of reminded me, just the landscape and geography of it.
No, I love it. I think I wanna, I can't wait to experience that. Just to put the whole entire company out. I've noticed just because of the experience that we have to be able to, to create and craft for individuals. Like Albert Couture is gonna have the product part of it. It's gonna have the concierge part, right? So when private clients call, literally from their flights to where they're staying, where they should go eat, everything is gonna be kind of like wrapped into a package deal, right? And to where we also tend to deliver things, so we know where clients wanna go. Like we know the itinerary schedules. So you're going to, I don't know, Fort Lauderdale next weekend with your family, whatever. Next month, we created a whole entire fit collection. If you don't have what you need to wear there, we look at the climate, we create it, we send it to the hotel, and then you just show up, no luggage, and then you wear your stuff, you leave it there, and then we deal with the hotel, we get the product back, we clean it, and then we send it back to your home.
Wow.
So that's gonna be the concierge service on that part. The other part is gonna be more of getting into more of like a hospitality, field with like a beautiful kind of like a brunch place, by Albert Couture, and a private, a boutique hotel by Albert Couture. So like the experience of Albert Couture in clothing, but like in your bed sheets and what you eat and what you use and all that, and and then obviously we're gonna have the last part is the Albert Couture beauty pieces, right? So and I want to focus more on men, and Tom Ford has done a really good job trying to push that. I think most men just taking care of not just your skin tone or anything like that, but also like your health, right? So having this concierge service, I'm partnering up with Dr. John Mullins at Marshall, right, medicine, and being able to give my clients this experience of like you can go to the gym, but you also have to understand how your diet works, how your health works, and all that. So like all that part is going to be a whole piece of who Albert Couture is coming into the future.
Oh, well, that's a lot. You're dominating every sector in lifestyle and when it comes to the culture aspect. So we appreciate what you're doing here in Lexington, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see it. And I know well, cheers to that.
Cheers, let's do it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming. I've always loved you. Your question. I never know what you're going to throw me.
I know.
Thank you for being
Listen,
so easy on me.
I took it easy. We did a good job.
Wow, that was fantastic.